What's up, everybody? Simon here. In this episode, we're going to do something called How To Thursdays. Hopefully this video is edited in time for Thursday, but overall, we're going to go ahead and discuss how to master the art of communication. I think it's essential to anything that you do, including being an entrepreneur, where you need to go ahead and communicate with your vendors, your suppliers, your staff, even your fellow colleagues and board members. So in this video, we're going to cover mastering the art of communication. Before I get into this video, I always remind you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and I appreciate it. Let's get into this video. So communication is like a big blank canvas. Anything can go in, anything could be evaluated. It's important to be a great communicator. If you're a great communicator, you just have better chance of success. However, when people communicate, they don't understand or use the very basic methods of communication, such as talking, then stop, listen, talk, stop, listen, etc. So they're not using essential cues to show that you're a better listener or even a better communicator and someone that can relay a message in a much nicer way.
Shut up and listen.
As someone who struggled communicating all my life in terms of just listening properly, relaying the message that I wanted with the proper vocabulary, etc., it took me a lot of time to perfect the communication that I've been able to communicate in a way today. So work on it. It's not something you're born with, but it's essential. So the first important point of communication is verbal communication. Your words matter. How many times has, say, your girlfriend or someone you love said your words hurt them? Your words are something that carries a lot of impact. In fact, there's so many quotes about how, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's usually not true. People actually remember what you say. They are hurt by what you say and how you say it. So your words are essential. You got to choose your words wisely, as they have power to do pretty much anything from build or destroy. So you have to avoid using words that are going to be scrutinized or have people think poorly of you. That also includes slang or any words that are kind of coming out where someone is not in understanding of the way you're talking. So it really depends. You could use slang around your friends, but you can't do that, say, at a job interview. I also always try to use words that are positive and uplifting so that the individual that is listening gets a positive and uplifting message.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me.
Try to avoid words that are depressing or a downturn versus kind of a positive outlook on things. So tired, I'm in pain, exhausted. I try to eliminate those words from my vocabulary to get a positive reaction from the individual I'm talking to.
The important lesson here is for you to look for the positives in failure.
That brings us to the second point. Your vocabulary is what it sets you apart. Now, of course, not everyone has the best vocabulary. Not everyone has the same education. But words or vocabulary can also determine how educated a person is, how much vocabulary they have in their repertoire, and basically how they can communicate with you. Oftentimes, if you overuse your vocabulary and the listener is not on the same level of vocabulary as you are, that is actually going to create frustration in the person you're speaking to. It could be a crowd, it could be a presentation. So you have to use the appropriate vocabulary at appropriate times. And just as important with the words that you're saying, it's how you say it. So the tonality is essential. You cannot be sounding like me sometimes, a little bored, or you cannot go ahead and say things that are not exciting. So if you look at all these presenters, they always have a very big tone, a positive tone, lots of energy. It's as if they had 2-3 espressos, did 20 jumping jacks, and then went ahead and gave you a presentation. So the tone and the change in tone during your presentation or your conversation or communication is essential. Always choose your pace in an effective way to have kind of a cliff. So you're going to present something and then you're going to come right down after you say it. So emotion is essential to captivate the audience or your listener. It is important to show emotion, but not be emotional. You want them emotionally in tune with what you're saying. So that is another point that you have to practice. For example, if you're crying while communicating, that's going to draw out a specific emotion with your listeners. If you're laughing while communicating, it's going to show them that you're happy. So your emotions play a vital part in the message that you're trying to relay. You don't want to go into a job interview or a presentation of a product and have a negative emotion on your face while telling them to buy into what you're selling. So you're going to have to come in there laughing, excited about something, and then that will relay a message that what you're presenting is fun and exciting. Enunciation. Personally, I have one of the hardest times enunciating things, so enunciation is essential as well. If you are someone like me that has a difficulty with enunciation, you actually have to practice your speech prior and make sure you do your research on the words or the way you enunciate things. So enunciation can confuse people. It could throw them off during a good presentation if you don't enunciate something properly. It will make them stop listening to you if you don't do it at the right moment, at the right time, or if you don't enunciate what you're trying to relay properly.
Okay, gentlemen, what do we know about our trucks? They're huge. There's one. Gotta have one of these trucks. No question. Maybe you say, I want your truck.
Nonverbal communication. Now, I read a book on nonverbal communication. It was actually by a former FBI agent. I believe it's called What Everybody is Saying, and it's by Joe Navarro, a former FBI agent that was a special agent that had dealings with the mafia in business, etc. So your body language is essential. For example, if you point your feet towards the door, it means that you want to get out of the meeting. If you take up more space on a conference table, that means you want people to know you're the head honcho. If you touch your chest like this while saying something, you're probably full of it. If you are not looking a person in the eye, you might be lying. If you have a guard or you cross your arms like this, it's a defensive posture. Crossing your legs is defensive posture in certain regards. If your legs aren't pointed towards an individual, you're not listening to that individual or you're defensive from that individual. So when you are communicating with someone, you have to turn to the individual, you have to look them in the eye. You can't have a protective posture and your legs have to be pointed towards that individual for a good communication. Check out that book, What Everybody is Saying. It's amazing and it's a good reset if you are having a hard time making eye contact during communication or you are improperly giving the attention that you're needing to do to the person you're communicating with. So not only do your arms play an important role in communication, such as being crossed off or open, your legs do as well. Crossed legs are not good, and a shield with your legs is not good as well. So make sure that your arms and legs or your limbs are properly communicating with the individual as well. Speaking position is important. You have to be in a good position for speaking. In the beginning of any presentation, I usually like to tell people, listen closely. This one fact is personal and important. That captivates the audience or the people you're speaking to, and it allows you to capture them right then and there. The rest of the points that we covered will allow you to keep that person engaged. So you cannot falter after you get their attention or you have lost them for good, or it's very difficult to regain their attention, and you would have to do it by actually presenting that whole sentence all over again. Hey, everybody, listen up. This is an important point. So resetting with everybody, listen carefully, listen up. This is important. This is a personal point, is essential to making sure that you recaptivate the audience. Being from a high posture position. In fact, in our new studio, I hope to do these videos standing up. There's more energy with it, but being in a high posture position is essential. So anyway, this was a How-To Thursday. Let me know if you guys like these type of videos in the comments below. Add in, I'll comment back. If you like the video, hit the like button, the biggest favor you could do for me. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you here in the next video.